This is the IELTS listening test. You will hear a number of different recordings, and you will have to answer questions on what you hear. There will be time for you to read the instructions and questions, and you will have a chance to check your work. All the recordings will be played once only. The test is in 4 parts. At the end of the test, you will be given 10 minutes to transfer your answers to the answer sheet. Part 1. You will hear a telephone conversation between a parent and an administrator at an agency that arranges host families for international students. First, you have some time to look at questions 1 to 5. Now listen carefully and answer questions 1 to 5.
International Student Hosting Agency, Sarah speaking. How may I assist you today?
Hi, this is Jonathan Watson. I'm interested in learning more about how to become a host family for international students.
That's wonderful to hear, Jonathan. We're always on the lookout for families who are eager to welcome students into their homes. How did you hear about us?
I came across your website while researching study abroad programs, and I thought hosting a student could be a great experience for our family.
It certainly can be. Hosting students is not only beneficial for them, but also an enriching experience for the host family. How can I help you get started?
I'd like to know more about the steps involved in becoming a host family. What should we expect?
The first step is a preliminary visit to your home. During this visit, we'll have an informal chat where we go over all the details related to the registration process and answer any questions you might have.
That sounds like a good start. Is there any paperwork or documentation we need to prepare before the visit?
Not right away. We'll bring the necessary forms during our visit. If everything goes well during the initial meeting, we'll begin the formal registration process, which includes filling out some paperwork and discussing the responsibilities of being a host family.
I see. And what about the students themselves? How do you match them with families?
That's an excellent question. Well, we consider several factors when matching students with families, such as the family's lifestyle, interests, and any specific requests they may have regarding the student's background or personality. We aim to create a match that's beneficial for both the student and the host family.
That sounds very thoughtful. How long does the registration and matching process usually take?
The registration process typically takes around 4 to 8 weeks, depending on the completion of background checks and other formalities. After that, we aim to place students with families at the beginning of the academic term, usually in September or January.
That timeline works well for us. We're planning to start in the upcoming school year.
Perfect. How many students are you thinking of hosting initially?
We're considering hosting 2 students, as we have 2 spare rooms available.
That sounds ideal. Having 2 students can also help them feel more comfortable as they adjust to their new environment.
Before you hear the rest of the conversation, you have some time to look at questions 6 to 10. Now listen and answer questions 6 to 10.
When matching students with families, we also take into account the distance from your home to the nearest school, access to public transport, and any extracurricular activities that might be available in your area.
That's good to know. We live near a park that hosts various activities, and there's a community center that offers sports and art classes. I think the students would enjoy those.
That's fantastic. Having access to such amenities is definitely a plus. We also consider whether the home environment is conducive to studying, such as having a quiet area where the students can focus on their schoolwork.
We have a study room that our own children use. It's separate from the main living areas, so it's usually quiet.
That's perfect. It's important for the students to have a dedicated space for their studies. We'll also discuss any dietary preferences or restrictions the students may have. This helps us ensure they have a comfortable stay with you.
We're flexible with meals, and we're happy to accommodate different dietary needs. Our family enjoys cooking, so we're excited to introduce the students to some of our favorite dishes as well.
That sounds wonderful. We find that students often appreciate being able to try new foods and learn about different cuisines. Lastly, we'll talk about how the students will integrate into your family's daily routine and any cultural exchanges you might be interested in.
We're looking forward to that. We believe it'll be a learning experience for everyone involved.
I'm glad to hear that. We can schedule our preliminary visit at a time that's convenient for you. Would next Tuesday or Wednesday work better?
Next Tuesday works well for us, preferably in the afternoon.
Great. I'll arrange for our representative to visit you next Tuesday at 2 p.m. We'll go over everything in detail then.
That sounds perfect. Thank you for all the information, Sarah.
My pleasure, Jonathan. I'll send you a confirmation email with all the details. We look forward to meeting you next week.
Part 2. You will hear a woman speaking to a group of people who are interested in becoming volunteers for a community gardening project called Green Fingers. First, you have some time to look at questions 11 to 15. Now listen carefully and answer questions 11 to 15.
Good evening, everyone. I'd like to start by welcoming you all to this introductory talk about our community gardening project, Green Fingers. Thank you for showing interest in contributing to this initiative. This project has been running successfully for the past 5 years. And with your help, we hope to make even more of an impact on our local environment and community. First off, I apologize if any of you are feeling a bit cramped. We had a larger turnout than expected, which is fantastic, but it means we're a bit short on space. Unfortunately, we weren't able to bring in additional chairs, so I appreciate your understanding. Now, I'm sure you're all eager to know more about what volunteering with Green Fingers entails. One common question we get is about age requirement. While we welcome volunteers of all ages, from teenagers as young as 14, to seniors in their 70s or even 80s, what really matters to us is your enthusiasm and commitment. Age is just a number, and we've found that it's your dedication to the cause that counts the most. Another frequent inquiry is about training. We take training very seriously here, and it's a process that evolves as you gain experience. Training begins the moment you sign up and continues throughout your time with us. You'll start with basic gardening techniques, and as you progress, you'll learn more advanced skills like composting and organic pest control. Most of our training is hands-on, and you'll be working closely with experienced volunteers who've been with us for years. We find that this peer-led approach is more effective and helps build a strong community spirit. Before you decide to join us, there are a couple of things I'd like you to consider carefully. First, you need to think about your availability. Our project involves regular commitments, especially during the planting and harvesting seasons. If you can't commit to a consistent schedule, it might be challenging to contribute effectively. Secondly, consider your level of physical fitness. Gardening can be physically demanding, especially when it comes to digging, weeding, and lifting heavy plants or bags of soil. We don't want anyone to overexert themselves, so please be honest about your capabilities.
Before you hear the rest of the talk, you have some time to look at questions 16 to 20. Now listen and answer questions 16 to 20.
So, let's dive a bit deeper into the different roles you can take on as a volunteer with Green Fingers. Each role has its own set of responsibilities and challenges, so I encourage you to think about where you can make the most impact. One area where we always need help is in maintaining our community garden plot. This includes everything from planting seeds to watering plants and harvesting crops. If you're someone who enjoys seeing the fruits of your labor, literally, this might be the perfect role for you. You don't need to be an expert gardener. We'll teach you everything you need to know. If you have a knack for organizing, you might want to get involved in our events team. We hold regular workshops and open days to educate the public about sustainable gardening practices. Helping to organize these events involves coordinating with local businesses, setting up stalls, and even leading workshops if you feel confident enough. Another role that's essential to our success is outreach. This is ideal for those of you who are good at communicating and networking. Outreach volunteers help us connect with schools, local businesses, and other community organizations. Your job would be to spread the word about Green Fingers and get more people involved, whether that's through social media, distributing flyers, or giving talks like this one. We also have a specific need for volunteers who can help with the technical side of things. If you're tech savvy, you could assist with managing our website or updating our social media channels. This is becoming increasingly important as we try to reach a broader audience. Lastly, if you have a background in education or simply enjoy working with children, we'd love for you to help with our school gardening program. These programs teach children the basics of gardening, the importance of nature, and how to grow their own food. It's incredibly rewarding to see the kids' faces light up when they see the plants they've nurtured start to grow. Each of these roles is crucial to the success of Green Fingers, and I'm sure you'll find a way to contribute that suits your skills and interests. Now, I'm happy to take any questions you might have about volunteering with us.
Part 3. You will hear a student called Emma talking to her supervisor about her progress on her research project. First, you have some time to look at questions 21 to 24. Now listen carefully and answer questions 21 to 24.
Hi Emma, it's good to see you. How is your research project coming along?
Hi, Professor. I'm making progress, but I'm feeling a bit overwhelmed. I've been refining my research topic and gathering some preliminary data, but I'd like your feedback.
I've reviewed your initial proposal. I think you've chosen a fascinating and unique topic, which is definitely worth pursuing. However, I do have a few concerns.
What concerns do you have?
Well, your research topic is innovative, but it might be a bit too broad for the time you have. Narrowing it down would make it more manageable and ensure you can cover it thoroughly.
I was thinking about that. Maybe I should focus on a specific aspect, like the impact on urban environments, rather than rural ones.
That's a good idea. Urban environments could offer more data and allow you to draw clearer conclusions. Also, I noticed that your proposal lacks a strong theoretical background. You should consider incorporating more theoretical frameworks to support your analysis.
I see. I'll work on that. I've been more focused on the practical aspects, but I realize the theory is equally important.
Exactly. Also, I'm a bit concerned about your timeline. It seems a bit ambitious, especially given the amount of data you'll need to collect. Have you considered breaking it down into more detailed milestones?
I hadn't thought about that. I'll definitely do that and create a more realistic schedule.
That will help keep you on track. By the way, what sparked your interest in this topic?
It was actually a personal experience. I grew up in a city that's been undergoing rapid urbanization, and I've seen firsthand how it affects the environment and the community.
That's a great motivation. Personal experience can drive passionate and meaningful research.
Thank you. I'm really excited about this project, but I want to make sure I'm on the right track.
Before you hear the rest of the conversation, you have some time to look at questions 25 to 30. Now listen and answer questions 25 to 30.
So, about the data collection, I've identified a few potential sources, but I'm not sure if I'm covering enough ground.
You're on the right track, but I'd recommend focusing on 3 key areas. First, concentrate on urban environments. As we discussed, you should aim to gather data from at least 5 urban areas to ensure your analysis is comprehensive.
5 areas, got it. What else should I focus on?
Second, you need to break down your timeline into detailed milestones. This will help you manage your time better and ensure you stay on schedule.
I'll work on that. What's the third recommendation?
Finally, strengthen your theoretical framework. You should reference at least 3 key theories that are directly relevant to your topic. This will give your research more academic depth.
That makes sense. I'll start incorporating those changes right away.
Excellent. Keep me updated on your progress, and don't hesitate to reach out if you need further guidance.
Will do. Thanks for your help, Professor.
Part 4. You will hear a talk on the evolution and future of electric vehicles. First, you have some time to look at questions 31 to 40. Now listen carefully and answer questions 31 to 40.
Good morning, everyone. Today, I'm going to discuss the evolution of electric vehicle EVs, their current state, and the potential future of this rapidly growing industry. The shift from traditional internal combustion engine vehicles to electric vehicles is one of the most significant transformations in the automotive industry, driven by concerns over environmental sustainability, advances in technology, and changing consumer preferences. The history of electric vehicles dates back to the 19th century, long before gasoline-powered cars dominated the market. In fact, the first practical electric cars were developed in the 1830s, and by the late 1800s and early 1900s, EVs accounted for a significant portion of the automobile market in the United States. However, their popularity waned with the mass production of gasoline cars, particularly after the introduction of the Ford Model T, which made gas-powered vehicles more affordable. For much of the 20th century, electric vehicles were largely forgotten, relegated to a niche market due to their limited range, high costs, and the convenience of gasoline. But in recent decades, several factors have revived interest in EVs. The most pressing of these is the global concern over climate change and the urgent need to reduce greenhouse gas emissions. Transportation accounts for a significant portion of global CO2 emissions, and electric vehicles, when powered by renewable energy, offer a cleaner alternative. In addition to environmental concerns, advances in battery technology have been pivotal in the resurgence of electric vehicles. The development of lithium-ion batteries has significantly improved the range, efficiency, and affordability of EVs. Companies like Tesla have played a crucial role in this evolution, pushing the boundaries of what electric vehicles can do and demonstrating that they can be both high-performing and desirable. Today, the electric vehicle market is booming. Major automakers such as General Motors, Ford, Volkswagen, and Toyota have all committed to electrifying their fleets, with plans to phase out gasoline vehicles in the coming decades. Governments around the world are also playing a key role in this transition, offering incentives for EV purchases, investing in charging infrastructure, and setting ambitious targets for reducing emissions from the transportation sector. But despite the progress, challenges remain. One of the most significant hurdles is the development of a robust and widespread charging infrastructure. While urban areas are increasingly well served with charging stations, rural and remote areas often lack sufficient facilities, which can deter potential EV buyers. Another challenge is the current range limitations of EVs. Although battery technology has advanced, many consumers still worry about range anxiety, the fear that they will run out of battery power before reaching a charging station. Looking to the future, several exciting developments are on the horizon that could address these challenges and further accelerate the adoption of electric vehicles. One promising area of research is solid-state batteries, which could offer greater energy density, faster charging times, and longer lifespans compared to current lithium-ion batteries. If successful, solid-state batteries could dramatically improve the range and affordability of EVs. Another key area of innovation is autonomous driving technology. While not exclusive to electric vehicles, the integration of self-driving capabilities could further enhance the appeal of EVs. Autonomous electric vehicles could reduce traffic congestion, improve safety, and create new mobility solutions, such as ride-sharing services that reduce the need for individual car ownership. In conclusion, the evolution of electric vehicles is not just a technological shift, but a paradigm shift in how we think about transportation and sustainability. While there are challenges to overcome, potential benefits of widespread EV adoption are immense, from reducing greenhouse gas emissions to improving air quality in our cities. As battery technology continues to advance, charging infrastructure expands, and autonomous driving becomes a reality, electric vehicles are poised to become the dominant form of transportation in the not-so-distant future.